the tallest man in Black Africa. Karibuni in our evening show. We are going to discuss a number of issues. As you know, here is where we meet and discuss a number of things that are happening in this country. You agree with me that there are so many things that are happening in this country, right from the house on the hill all the way. Kuna mambo mengi ambayo tunaona yakitendeka. Karibuni ladies and gentlemen, please like the video, please register your presence. Let's have as many likes as possible. Let's interact through the comment section, because here we analyze issues as they arise. So ladies and gentlemen, there are those things that are happening in this country, and today, as you know, EPRA, that is Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority, actually adjusted the fuel prices. Jailo Koshe, first one Skyman, thank you. Jailo Koshe, karibu sana. So we are discussing various issues, and we are starting with EPRA, the Energy Regulatory and Petroleum Authority, reduced the pump prices by 5 shillings. But if you ask me, these guys are joking. Huu ni mchezo, huku ni kuwachezea wananchi akili. They are joking with our minds. They are playing with our minds. Because when you look at it, what is this that we are loading? G, good evening everyone. Tumefika upesi sana. Ni kweli G, karibu. So the fact that they reduced petrol by 5 bob, this is nothing if you ask me. This is something that should not happen, because when you look at the international prices, we were expecting that petrol would sell at most 160. But what they did is just to play with our minds. Sasa kuondoa shilingi 5, na tunajua vizuri sana when William Samoei Ruto took over, the petrol was selling at 159, and at that time the price per barrel was 120. So right now, price per barrel is $67. Just $67. So hata kama wangeshindwa kufanya nini, wangepunguza kwa 30%, at least that percent. That one you would understand. But reducing petrol by 5 bob is joking, is a mockery. And then the UDA guys wanajitokeza kila mahali praising William Samoei Ruto that he's running the fuel prices with the 5 bob. If you ask me, in fact, we shall start assessing William Samoei Ruto when he lowered the prices below 140. Hapo ndipo sasa tunaweza kuongea. Lakini sasa kuuza mafuta ati unauza 230 and you're telling us that you have reduced the price of petrol. Hakuna kitu ambacho unafanya. We know very well that kile ambacho tunaona ni kwamba these guys, because they are dealers. Remember the gangster to gangster deal ya mafuta. Remember what we were told? That we shall be buying petrol using our shilling, Kenyan shilling. Are we doing it? Think about just 5 bob. 5 bob. Would you say that we have lowered the pump prices? Paul Lebo watching, karibu sana. So would you say that we have lowered, that EPRA has lowered pump prices just 5 bob? And guys, please, as you come, I request you to like this video. Just give us a thumbs up and also comment about this issue, because you cannot have a situation whereby the government is just playing with our mind. We were expecting that they would lower the price by something like maybe 40%. Mwagi Samuel, this is a joke. 4 shilling drop is equally nonsense. I agree with you. Hakuna kitu ambacho wamefanya. Jeffrey Oyapidi anasema, thank you Skyman for your great analysis. Ruto is just blindfolding us. Yeah, in fact it's a joke if you ask me. He is joking with us. In fact kile ambacho tunaona ni sarakasi. Na ndio sababu mtu kasi. Skyman ni koridho, karibu sana Wageshi. Sijui kwenu kama mmeona vile ambavyo mafuta yamepunguzwa kwa shilingi 4 na kwingine shilingi 5 peke yake. And we are saying this is a joke, that this government is joking with Kenyans, is playing with our minds. And I think time has come even for people to start picketing, kwa sababu ukiangalia vile ambavyo mambo yalivyo, utaona kwamba wananchi watazidi kuumia, kwa sababu kama hawezi kupunguza mafuta kwa shilingi 30, I think hakuna kitu ambacho tunaweza kusema kinaweza kutoka na serikali. So don't expect anything good from this government. That is what we can say. Kwa sababu sasa ukiangalia hii serikali ya hustlers, how is it benefiting the hustlers? How is it benefiting us? Because if you ask me, it's like stepping on the cheek of a hustler. Yani unasimama pale juu, something that we don't like, something that we believe should not happen. So ladies and gentlemen, hiyo ndio bei ya mafuta. Let's wait and see what will happen tomorrow at the pump prices, because the price takes effect immediately, I think from tomorrow. Mwagi again is saying, I'm revisiting South Africa and fuel here. I'm revisiting, maybe you want to say I'm living in South Africa, and fuel here dropped on 3rd of December with almost 20 shilling in comparison to Kenya. That is very good, Mwangi Samuel, because you see, ukiangalia tuone kwamba Wakenya tunadanganywa jameni, tunadanganywa kabisa. And in fact, I think sometimes the government takes Kenyans like fools. Yani wanatuangalia tu, wanaona hawa watu hakuna kitu ambacho wanajua, hakuna kitu ambacho wanaweza fanya. You see, they wake up even when the international prices come down, they don't want to do that. So who is benefiting, by the way? Who is benefiting? Is it not these guys who entered these deals? Residing in South Africa. Sorry for mistyping. Thank you, Mwangi, for your observations. Because you can see now, we are being told in South Africa, fuel or petrol dropped by about 20 shilling. Alafu hapa tunapunguziwa kwa shilingi 20, shilingi 5. Na watu wanaanza kupiga makofi. Janet asema he'll increase it again by 50 bob, anaongeza na 50 bob kupunguza na 5. Mwishi oshio. That is very interesting. By the way, when you look at the government, it is stealing with one hand. Wanafanya hivi, wanachukua kwa mkono huu, wanaweka hapa. That is the way the government is operating. And I believe that tutaona mambo hapa. Tutaona mambo. Because William Samoei Ruto, you know, he has been telling us that he's going to change this country. Lakini if he is going to change this country, he has already started changing this country, but on a negative side. Tukiangalia vizuri sana tunaona kwamba what is happening is that this country is moving in the wrong direction. And I don't even agree when Tifa told us that UDA is the most popular party. I don't think so. If you ask me, it is not the most popular party, if you ask me. Ati sijui 30%, what. I don't agree with such kind of research. I don't agree with such kind of opinion poll. We know, maybe this something was paid by the government. Ndio watu waone kana kwamba UDA is still there. But if you ask me, UDA has lost the ground. Na sasa ndio sasa unaona wanajaribu kupunguza mafuta. Hakuna kitu wanafanya. So the other issue I want us to discuss, hii mambo ya Gachagua. You know, Gachagua told us, before we go to that, God's favor is saying, Kenya ni kama tunabebewa akili. Nika tu chini niki meditate na hisi hata roho imechoka tu, na utapata Wakenya wengine bado wanapiga makofi, like seriously. Sure. Jana tunasalimua na G na anakuambia, anakuuliza habari za Saudia. Sijui huko, sijui G mnanunua mafuta pesa gapi? Sijui mnanunua how much are you selling? How much are you buying petrol? Unajua huko ndiko mafuta yanatoka. So Gachagua told Kenyans today, he lied to Kenyans that Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta bought fake generators. And that is why in the airport, ati zinachukua muda mrefu kuwaka, and watu walikuwa wanapiga makofi, and you see these guys have been in office for almost 2 years now, na bado wanatudanganya, bado wanatuchezea akili. They are still blaming Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta for everything. Ati, you know, I heard others were saying that Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta is the one who is sabotaging these guys, that is the one who is causing this blackout. So in whatever mistake they make, wakishindwa kufanya kazi, even when they don't know what to do, they start blaming Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Sasa hata kama Uhuru alinunua fake generators, as they are saying, what have they been doing for almost 2 years now in office? Alafu mnakuja kutuambia hivi, and people clap for sure. And you know how these things has affected us. So the fact that Rigathi Gachagua was saying this in presence of William Samoei Ruto is something that shocked many Kenyans. God's favor. Hata hizo tax wanasema watu watolee wanyama pia watablame Uhuru. Ni true. By the way, that's a very interesting topic. That ng'ombe, ukifuga ng'ombe nyumbani, per month, not per month, per annum, you'll be paying 1,200. So if you have 10 cows, you pay 12,000. For every cat, hiyo kama ile yangu iko hapa, unalipa 60 bob per month. If you keep a donkey, you pay 8,000. If you keep a camel, is it 3,000? Something like that. If you keep a horse, you pay 5,500. So what is this, by the way? Because this one caught many people off guard. And Mithika Linturi, who is the CS Agriculture, took the livestock bill to Parliament, and this is madness, by the way. What they'll be doing, they'll be moving from one house to the other, collecting taxes. Unaangalia kama mko na jibwa mnalipia 1,000. Kama hizi zangu zinabweka hapa, I'm supposed to pay 2,000 per annum. So you can see the desperation the way they are looking for money. The desperation. Hawa watu watakuja kuangalia kama kuna chochote ambacho kinaonekana kule. Kama watu watalipia kuku. Even if you are keeping dove at home, you'll be paying for it. Anything. Kodoo, buzi, nini? Because I understand, for every goat that you are keeping, you pay 650, and for every sheep, you pay 600 shilling. So you can see they'll be collecting a lot of money. And I understand what William Samoei Ruto has done. He has told his cabinet secretaries, ati mtu angalie kwake aone ni nini itachukuliwa. Mwangi someone. How can someone with a sober mind clap hands for such utterances of someone who doesn't know how to lead? Gachagua, you know, people are like that. Geoffrey Opadi is saying, I'm fine. Janet, unasalimua na Oyapidi. So what we are saying here is that if you are keeping animals, so I would like you to count the number of animals that you are keeping at home, and then you decide how much money you are supposed to pay to KRA. Because I believe they'll be knocking on your doors. They'll be knocking on our doors. Wakihesabu kila kitu. Harun, mtu asikanyage kwangu. Kuja na hiyo upuzi. Kizuri sana sis Janet, naona mwizi anazidi kutumaliza. In fact, this one, hii imeenda sana, by the way. Hii imeenda sana. Yani, sasa ng'ombe na wakati mwingine unajua unaweza kuacha ng'ombe si wako. Labda maybe unasaidia mtu mwingine. Ama ng'ombe ni tasa hata zai. And then you are supposed to pay. What are you doing, ladies and gentlemen? You are telling us to pay kila kitu. In fact, somebody was telling me that if you continue the way you are doing, we are likely kujipata tukilipia watoto. Una watoto wangapi? Lipia tax. Na iko na watu gapi? Unaona polisi unakuja hapo. Wewe iko na watu gapi hapo? Wewe kama uzee na serikali, ile serikali hazo, hii serikali ambayo mliteja inabidi kila mtu alibia. Kama utaki kuja haraka tukupeleke sero. That's the way they talk. Hey, Janet Skyman, we better have your mwananyau for Xmas. Yeah, tutamficha mahali huyo. Listening from border of Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, Oyapidi, asante sana. Like this video for those of you who have not liked this video. So that livestock bill is the one that is actually shocking people. And even the pigs, I think you are paying, is it 1,500? Something like that. Pigs, if kama una nguruwe. And then don't forget that if you are rearing pigs, you are supposed to have electronic tax register. So how are we going to survive, ladies and gentlemen? And you remember Mwangi Samuel, yellow and green regalia, euphoria, sycophants, they voted village fools instead of leaders. You see, I'm telling you, what we are experiencing in this country, najua watu wengi wanashangaa. Watu wengi wanashangaa wakisikia yale mambo ambayo yanatokea hapa. Wanashangaa wakisikia the kind of leadership that we are experiencing in this country. And no wonder akina Suluhu Hassan, no wonder wanasema kwa jirani hakuna stima, kwa jirani hakuna uga, ati kiongozi tu pale anaongea kizungumiki kwa giza. Hapo ndipo tumefika kwamba majirani wanatucheka. Joshi mkubwa, tutafika 2027 kweli? Mungu akitujalia tutafika. Lakini you see now, sasa William Samoei Ruto, karibu Joseph Karemi na wale Maasai na wengine wanaofuga mamia ya wanyama watalipa kila kitu. And by the way, ni not per head but per animal. If it's a cow, 1,200. It doesn't matter whether it's a heifer, whether it's a bull, whatever. Bora tu awe ni ng'ombe. Kama ni buzi 600, kama ni kondoo 650, something like that. Even a rabbit I understand is 50 shilling. So you can see what is happening in this country because watu wanasikia yale ambayo yanatendeka huku wanashangaa. And by the way, do you know that Canada give travel advisory to its citizens? And the government of Canada cautioned the Canadian people to be very, very careful when coming to Kenya. Reason? Giza. Wazungu nao watatuonyesha mambo. Najua sisi wakati mwingine sisi wengine tulelewa gizani. Lakini ni vile tu watu wamekuwa sasa, lakini mambo yamebadilika. So what we are being told, Joseph Karemi ni wale Maasai wao watalipa. So what we are being told is that Canada issued a travel advisory. Can you imagine? Kwa sababu ya giza. Kwamba they are telling the citizens to be very, very careful when coming to Kenya. Sadula Benjamin, read 1 Samuel 8-18 to understand why Kenyans are going this suffering. But it's too much. Sadula, it is too much, by the way. And you see, okay, Kenyans may have refused to listen to Prophet Uhuru. Prophet Uhuru told us to elect Baba. Wengi tukamchagua, kwingine kura zikaibwa hapa na pale. Kule maagent wengine wakahogwa, wakaabua usiende pale, tutakupea 50,000 instead of kuendelea zile pesa za Azimio. Wakakubali kwa sababu wa Kenya unaweza kuwanunua, especially Wakikuyu. And there's one thing that nani knows, William Samoei Ruto knows. Onyesha tu Mkikuyu pesa shilingi kama hii, unaona hii, muonyeshe tu hii ni shilingi kwa hapa, muonyeshe tu Mkikuyu, muonyeshe shilingi tu hivi atakuzia mamake. Onyesha Mkikuyu shilingi hivi you give you your votes wende nayo, muonyeshe tena utaenda na kitambulisho. That is how you are bought. A bob. Because that's the fact. Hakika mwanajomo ni nabii. Yes, he was Prophet Uhuru. Because whatever he told us came to pass. Alituonyesha njia tukakataa. Akatuambia njia ni baba. Njia sio huyu. Huyu hajatosha boga. Na kusema kweli, ukiangalia vizuri sana, hakuwa ametosha boga. So Canada, the fact that Canada is giving travel advisory to its citizens, Do you think now Canadians can come here and start investing their money? They can't. Hawatakuja. Ni nani huyo mjiga ambaye atakuja kuwekeza pesa zake mahali ambapo kuna giza? I don't know. Guys, please like the video as we continue interacting. And we interact here and we discuss various issues as they happen to our country. God's favor. Ati kwa jirani kuna njaa na wanaongea kizungu mingi kwa giza bila stima. Walahi hapo ndio tumefika. Ni kweli. Kwa hapo unasikia tu Ruto tu ni kizungu mingi. Maneno matamu. The way Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta said. Maneno matamu. Ni kweli. Na tena if you remember very well, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta told us that ni heri baba ambaye amekomaa kimawazo na he has the interest of this country at his heart, kuliko mtu mwingine anasema moja yako bili za mwananchi nne zangu. And that is what is happening, because how do you explain the way wanaleta giza inaingia, baada ya giza kuingia then they create an artificial crisis. After the artificial crisis then they go meet in the cabinet, approve billions and billions of money, over 200 billions, ndio wapate kadarasi. Hivyo ndivyo watu wanapora nchi. Kwa sababu who do you think is going to get the tenders? Who do you think is going to bring those posts, the wires? Ni watu wale tu. Because when William Samoei Ruto was forming the cabinet, he looked at the government and realized that the Ministry of Energy is very lucrative. And because it is very lucrative, he is going to give it to the Kalenjin. Ni wakati wa kula sasa. It was their time to eat. And they are still eating. Now, just like we keep on saying, hawa jamaa ni kuambia watakula kila kitu. Hata nikiwa na njaa namna gani, siwezi kula pesa ya root oro. Haiwezi pita kwa koo. Naweza tapika tu yak. Hii nayo. Unajua hizi pesa, unajua kile ambacho tunakipata ni kwamba wizi ambao tunauona katika taifa letu tunaona kwa sababu ya kutosikiza vile ambavyo tulifaa kufanya, kwa sababu tungefanya uamuzi ambao tulipewa, nafikiri haya yote hayage tupata. Again, there is also this issue, God's favor ationyesha ukuyu pesa na wagushe zingine, sema anauza adi mamake. It is true. Ni kweli. You see, you remember vile ambavyo tunaambiwa kwamba if you want to know if a Kikuyu will survive akiwa hospitalini, rusha shilingi tu hivi. Ukirusha shilingi tu hivyo, akiamsha kichwa ujue huyo atapona. Kama ataamsha ujue huyo atakufa. Hivyo ndivyo tunaambiwa. But for sure this country inapotea. That's why you see when you look at William Samoei Ruto, do you know he's surrounded by some few Kikuyus. Surrounded by Moses Kuria ako pale karibu sana, Gachagua bado ako pale, Dedi Nyoro ako pale, and now Kimani Ichung'wah. These guys, do you know wamekuwa karibu sana na William Samoei Ruto. Kwa sababu just show them money, waonyeshe tu pesa, hakuna kitu kingine. Anajua sasa these guys, they are there for their own interest, and that's why they were given lucrative positions. One is the head of the budget in parliament. The other one was given the trade and investment ministry until he made some few mistakes and he was rejected by America. You know, I've always told you that this country is managed by the Americans and the British. Na wao ndio walisema hataki Moses Kuria pale. Huyo tumtaki. And that is why unakumbuka very well, if you remember, alikuwa anategwa katika mikutano. Remember the CS or US who came and refused to meet Moses Kuria. So William Samoei Ruto akaambiwa huyu mtu lazima uondoe hapa. So this is the kind of government that we are having. And unless Kenyans know that what is happening in Kenya is something that has been stage managed for quite some time, until Kenyans realize that hii serikali ambayo tunaiona hapa in fact is a puppet government. it is being operated like a marionette. Sukuma hapa, fanya hivi, achilia kaba hivi. That is the way it is operated. That is why you see most of the time you find I don't call them even World Bank. I call them a Wild Bank. That's why you find a Wild Bank here. That is why you find International Mother and Father here, IMF. Always here, giving terms, giving conditions. And by the way, if you look very keenly, they are the same people who are telling William Samoei Ruto to tax our domestic animals. You tax everything. They are the one who are telling him to increase the lending rates. As we talk, most banks have adjusted their lending rates upwards. I saw some of them sending text messages. And while this is happening, if you go to Kenya Airways, flights are being cancelled. Others are being delayed. Reason? Lack of enough crew. Wafanyikazi hamna pale. They are telling us kwamba hakuna kazi, yet they cannot be able to employ enough crew. They can't be able. To an extent of delaying, I think by around 11 today in the morning, 17 flights had been delayed. And 6 of them had been cancelled since yesterday. You can imagine the mess that they are causing in this country. Imagine. And imagine, while this is happening, Kipchumba Murkomen is still in office, bragging ati makosa si yake. While this is happening, Gachagua is still there, saying makosa ni ya Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. While this is happening, William Samoei Ruto, who is the head of government and the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, ako tu pale, while the buck stops with him, he is still there, and he doesn't see any mistake. Hear no evil, see no evil. That is why this government went ahead and decorated David Churchill even when the country was experiencing blackout. Can you imagine? It was so ridiculous. It was so bad, if you ask me. How does the president award somebody who is causing a lot of problem in this country? Why award David Churchill? Why award Kipchumba Murkomen at a time when they are exposing this country? Angalia, sasa, the kind of... so, when you look at it, William Samoei Ruto is rewarding inefficiency. He's rewarding inefficiency. He is rewarding people who don't know what they are doing in offices, instead of sacking them, because Kenyans would be very, very happy if William Samoei Ruto woke up yesterday and during Jamhuri holiday, he announced to the whole world that today I'm sacking Kipchumba Murkomen because of the issue of the airport, blackout in the airport, because of whatever happened in this country. I'm sacking my childhood friend, David Churchill, because he is failing us. But you see, instead of doing that, he's decorating them. And in fact, it was quite wrong, if you ask me. And then, Gachagua naye, anaacha Moses Kuria. But because, you see, the office of the deputy president is the one that comes with this risk. Thomas A. from Houston, Texas, USA. Thanks, my mother-in-law has 20 cows and she is 85 years old. How can she be able to pay tax for her cows? Jameni. So multiply 85 times 1,200 per cow. You can imagine. And then you imagine the mother. So this is what we are saying, that William Samoei Ruto is causing a lot of confusion. Because what will happen, many businesses will close down. Many farmers will stop rearing cattle. Like Thomas here, the way he's complaining, you can see. He's wondering how his mother will be able to pay, the mother-in-law will be able to pay for 20 cows. And she is 85. So in fact, such people, senior citizens, like the mother here, should even be exempted from taxes, if you ask me. If he has to tax people, some of these people should be exempted. Let them continue rearing their cattle They fought for the independence of this country. Without them, even William Samoei Ruto could not have been the president of this country. So what we are saying, kwamba hawa watu ukiangalia utaona kwamba ni kama hawajui kile ambacho wanafanya, ni kama hajui. Gachie is telling us hilo lijishiedha nalo haliwezi lala bila kutaja Rais Uhuru. Sasa yote Uhuru lipotelee bali kabisa, kwa sababu kila wakati ati unajua makosa ni ya nani? Makosa ni ya the former president. Unajua alinunua generator fake, unajua alifanya hivi. Just like Kipchumba Murkomen was telling us the other day, that's the day before yesterday, that they inherited a dilapidated airport. So ni kutuchezea tu, wanatuchezea, and all this is meant to facilitate theft of public funds. Ndio sasa wakati ambapo, because if you listen very carefully, after Gachagua said that about the fake generator, he told Kipchumba Murkomen to buy another one and to construct a new airport. You can see, and Gachagua knows very well that there's nothing wrong with our airport. What they need to do is to keep the standard, to maintain the standards. I think it was graded to, I think, category 1, if I'm not wrong. And that's why I think that is how we had now direct flights from USA to Nairobi. Previously we did not have. And when you look at it, sasa kile ambacho tunajionea hapa, when you see now the government, Kenya Airways now start cancelling flights, what about people who want to come to this country or who want to leave this country? It is total confusion. Total confusion. Confusion after another. And you see, when all this is happening, utaona kwamba there are some people who are benefiting where all this is happening. Utaona kwamba there are others who are enjoying. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us continue interacting through the comment section, because when you look at our country, for sure, if we continue like this, by 2027, we may not have a country here. Because I understand, even for that free education, I understand it may no longer be free. It may no longer be free. Because the government has not been sending capitation. I was listening to high school principals when I was in Mombasa, and they were lamenting. I consulted 2 or 3, and I realized that the government had not sent all the money. The government sent, I think, half the money. And you see, you expect them to run the school. So sometimes we may even be blaming the school management. But makosa si yao. Sometimes we may find it's not even their mistakes. Because how do they run the schools if the government is saying that there's free education and there's, each student should be given 22,000 and the government does not say anything? How are they expected to operate? Ukiangalia utaona kwamba, and I understand when they give the money, sijui kama mwahi kusikia hivi ati hizi pesa wanapeana in schools, zingine wanaziendea, wanakupe alafu kichini wanaendea zingine, wanakwambia zingine sijui ni za sports, zingine sijui zipelekwe wapi. That's the way they operate. So you know, they operate like thugs, by the way. I don't know why some people must, I don't know why it is usually the case. To some people, they must steal. Ni kama wizi iko kwa ndani ya damu. They must steal all the time. They steal everything. Waliiba wakiwa vijana, would you think they would be satisfied? Because for sure, why should, okay, you have $1 billion. Sasa ukipewa hata $1 billion, $1 billion is enough for me to eat and you to eat. Even the generations and generations. Because you see, you only need to put that $1 billion. Peleke kwa nini? Kwa bank. Peleka pale, invest it for some few days. Put it in a fixed deposit account. Just the interest itself is enough to keep you going. How do you spend You have a billion and you want more. And that is why William Samoei Ruto is spending 23 million per day in State House. Are you aware of that? 23 million per day. Kenya tunalipia mizigo more than 50k na watu wakuja ni free shwari. It is true, by the way. He has opened the border. It is good that we are discussing this issue. That anybody can come to this country, hata kama ni mwizi, hata kama ni terrorist, hata kama ni nani, hata kama ni mfanyabiashara, and it is free. The borders are opened. And as G is asking us, we are paying, tunalipia mizigo, which is more than 50k. Alafu wageni nao wanafunguliwa milango, and this thing is going to backfire, because you see, you know, if you look at a country like America, or if you look at a country like Britain, mbona wao wasifungue milango, wasifungulie the borders? Why do Americans even stop the Mexicans from entering their country? Why? Sasa, are you telling us we are even going to allow people from countries that are fighting like Somalia? Because you see, because these guys now, it means you open all the borders. Open the border, let them come. What is likely to happen to this country? We shall have an influx of foreigners in this country. And when you have an influx of foreigners, things are going to change. What is likely to happen? One, there will be a lot of competition for the scarce jobs. If you look at this country, I know we have had so many people from Burundi. The last 5 years, kama kuna watu wameingia katika nchi, ni watu kutoka Burundi. These are the people you find working in markets, others hawking, others watchmen, others everywhere. And in fact, I saw another Burundi employed as a doctor. So the scarce jobs that are available will have a lot of competition. Yeah, you have a lot of competition. So once you open the border, expect a lot of competition for the scarce jobs. Secondly, when it comes to business, some of them, like now, how can you compete with the people like now who are coming from Somali? For them, vitu vinapitia kule Kismayu, they don't pay taxes, and wewe umedea vitu China, through Mombasa port, you have paid a lot of tax. How do you compete with such people? Kwa hivyo magendo yatakuwa mengi sana nchini Kenya. Expect biashara za magendo. And if there will be a lot of biashara za magendo, also expect a lot of counterfeit goods, kama vile vitu ambavyo vilikuwa na choma Moses Kuria miguu. Nakumbuka vile alikuwa amechomeka miguu after insulting Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Naona vile kile ambacho kilimpata. So what we are saying here is that now that we are opening the border, now that William Samoei Ruto is saying now it's free for all, yeyote ambaye anataka kuja aigie, people from Congo kujeni. But I can tell you, you are likely to be conned by the Nigerians. Nigerians will come in large numbers. In fact, I have so many Nigerians, friends of mine. Now, most of them who wanataka kuja Kenya. No jokes. Does this man really love Kenya? I don't think so. We need him out of State House like yesterday. He is opening the border for rapists, gangs, terrorists. This should not happen. Janet, there is Kamama Boga right outside my gate, who was staunch Ruto supporter. Today, she is complaining that he is being taxed for all the for the till number. Wacha kikarabe. Ni wengi, by the way, ni wengi. Some of them are even apologizing. Some is telling us there will be influx of so many categories of people, and crimes will be very high in Kenya. They are degrading Kenya and devaluing even our passport. Yeah, it is true. And it will be a floodgate. In fact, they open the floodgates for criminals. And terrorists are likely to have they're likely to have many cells in Kenya. That is what is likely to happen. And like now, for example, look at the war ile ambayo inafanyika kule Ukraine and Israel. Sasa, or like not Ukraine, Russia and Ukraine, or kule Palestine na Russia. So no sorry for that. And Israel. So sasa wakiamua kuja Kenya, who is going to stop them? You are not going to stop them. Now, how will you be able to discriminate and how are we going to differentiate between somebody who is upright and somebody who is a criminal? How are you going to do it? Sasa ile uchumi anasema uko sawa ni nchi gani? That is the question we have been asking ourselves. Anasema ati we have stabilized the economy and we are asking ourselves which country does William Samoei Ruto really live in Kenya? Yes, we know he looks like a foreigner. Na sasa unajua sasa yeye because he gets a lot of money. Yeye hana shida. I've told you in a day State House pays 23 million. According to the Auditor General, not Auditor General, the Control of Budget, Margaret Nyakango. Between July and September, State House spent 2.2 billion. 2.2 billion, huyo ni mtu moja. If you calculate, you realize it is 23 million per day. Sasa, na mnasema Kenya hakuna pesa, na tunasema they inherited empty coffers when they are spending 23 million in a day. And they are not very keen to construct roads. They are not very keen to bring any development in this country. Kile ambacho wanajua sana ni kukopa, kudanganya na kutisha. Kukopa, kudanganya, kutisha na kuiba. That is what they are doing. Kwa sababu when you look at William Samoei Ruto, he has borrowed a lot of money. So much money, but no development. No development at all. Hakuna kitu ambacho tunaweza tukasema kwamba haya ndio maendeleo ambayo tunajivunia. Hakuna kitu ambacho tunaweza tukaonyesha tukasema kwamba ndio William Samoei Ruto amefanya mengi, tunaona vile ambavyo ameleta maendeleo, kuna hizi barabara. What he has been telling us, he has been talking about tutatega, tunafikiri, tumekubaliana, tutatuma. That is the kind of language that he uses. And then he talk in a very bullish way. Bullish. And he's very optimistic. He cannot ibadilisha. We are going to change this country. We are going to change the narrative. That is how he is able to ensure that people are listening to him. Unajua wanapewa matumaini ambayo hayapo. It is giving people false hope that is not even there. And the reason, he has spin doctors. Any president must have spin doctors. People will always advise him on what to do, how to lie, how to manage people's expectation. Because now he has lost the ground completely. That is why he keeps on telling Kenyans, like now he has been insisting on one thing, that Kenya tutaibadilisha. Na anarudia mara nyingi. We are going to change this country. We are going to change this narrative. And it is very, very much deliberate. And it is meant to give Kenyans false hope. So that they can keep on clinging. Waendelee kushikilia papo hapo. Ndio, wasitoroke pale. Lakini, mjinga akierevuka, mwerevu anakuwa mashakani. Wakenya wameshaerevuka. Wakenya ambao walikuwa wanaonekana wajinga wamekwisha erevuka. And that is why, you see, they are very, very disturbed. They are very, very they are having sleepless nights because of minor Jega. One man is causing them sleepless nights. One man is causing them serious headache. The man is Minor Jega. Minor Jega is planning for men's conference in Nyeri. And we saw, we had the county commissioner through Gachagie's directive declaring that gathering illegal, that they will not be allowed to meet, they will not be allowed to assemble. Reason, wanasema ati Mogeki, and it is not true. Si Mogeki. Maina Jega aliachana mambo ya Mogeki kitabo. Maina Jega is a bishop, and Mogeki is nowhere to be seen in Mount Kenya, if you ask me. I think even there are no remnants of Mogeki. Watu walibadilika. And because of that, they are now trying to create fear in the mountain. Because I know one thing, one thing is going to happen. Kenya Kwanza and William Samoei Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua, they are going to do anything possible to ensure that Mount Kenya remains in UDA. Something that is very, very impossible. Something that is becoming almost an impossibility. But they are not just going to let it go. Ndio anaalika majirani for Jamhuri celebration, wanakatakata. Taifa Leo headline was Jamhuri kavu na majirani watwepa. That one left me laughing. I actually laughed because that's what I had said in the morning. And you know, Taifa Leo usually has a very interesting headline. Most of the time ukiangalia the headline za Taifa Leo inalenga kabisa. Nakumbuka kuna wakati mwingine walikuwa wameandika Buge Kibogoyo, and it was very, very interesting when you read how they were describing our 13th parliament. So what we are saying here is that because they know that Mount Kenya is no longer with them, they are going to fight and create imaginary enemies. So they want to make Maina Jega look like he's a Mugiki. They want to create an artificial Mugiki that is not even there. And they want to create fear in the mountain. Ndio sasa watu waone kama kuna kitu you know, they want to, like now, if we don't know Samoei Ruto, if we want to easily retain the president, the presidency that is, he can declare war on a neighboring country. That way, sasa watu wataona kwamba sasa hakuna haja ya kumtoa huyu kwa sababu ya hivi na hivi. And again, our constitution allows that there would be no election if the country is at war. He can easily do that because the constitution allows. So what he is now trying to do is to show that there is an enemy in Mount Kenya, an imaginary enemy, the enemy of the Kikuyus. And for sure, the enemy of the Kikuyus is not Mugeki. The enemy of the Kikuyus is the government because of poor coffee prices, the way they are now planning to sell new KCC, and when they are selling new KCC, and when they were trying to destroy Brookside, associated with the Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta's family, Uhuru was busy working in Brookside, such that Brookside is paying bonus amounting to, I think, 368 million. Imagine. And I think the farmers will smile all the way to the banks. And the government, bona KCC, new KCC, is pay wakulima bonus. Kwa nini? If they are serious with the way they are doing, if they know what they are doing. So when all this is happening, they like now what William Samoei Ruto said left me wondering whether we have a country here. Because he said, nothing or nobody will stop the housing levy and the social insurance fund. Nobody will stop, not even the courts. What does this tell you? If you look at the way he has been taking the issue of housing, then you ask, you see there's something inside these houses. Hii mambo ya nyumba yatatuletea mambo hapa. Wacha watu waanze kuzinunua. Because kuna watu ambao wanategwa. Kuna watu ambao wengine wanalegwa ndio ambao watapewa hizi nyumba. You know, this is a government of shareholders. This is an animal farm where some animals are more equal than others. Hili ni shamba la wanyama. Kuna watu ambao watatolewa mahali fulani, watatolewa kura, wanatolewa, wanapewa hizi nyumba, na wengine mnawajengea. And if you look at Kenya, surely, ni watu wangapi? In fact, even in this channel, how many? If I may ask, ni nani ambao hawana mahali analala? Ni nani ambaye hana? Ni nani ambaye hana kwao? So the issue is not, the problem in Kenya is not housing. But William Samoei Ruto's interest in housing is something, kuna kitu ambacho kimefichwa pale. Hence the passion. There is something that kuna watu watakuja kufaidika na hizi nyumba, because after sasa kununua tuseme kwa mfano nyumba zimekamilika, who will be taking the money, and after taking the money hizo pesa zitaenda wapi, and how shall we be knowing the interest? And you see, there are so many things that are not clear. There are so many things that are not clear, and they need to be very clear, because if they are not clear, we are going to find ourselves in serious problems. Hizi nyumba, like Gathoni wa Mushoba told us, zitakuja kutuletea mambo mabaya, mambo ambayo yatakuwa magumu sana kuyatatua. Because you see, you cannot tell me ati mimi natoa pesa au mtu mwingine anatoa pesa tujengee watu fulani fulani nyumba, and then finally kutakuwa na watu wengine ambao watakuja kufaidika na zile nyumba. Again, when you look at William Samoei Ruto, by the way guys, please like this video because we have just a few minutes to go. Like this video, we have just about 10 minutes to wind up, and maybe we can have a rest. And it is important when we come together and discuss and share some issues, because when we are here, we are able to interact. When you are here, you are able to write something, and we are able to delve into the issue and share. Like now, haya mambo ya ambayo tunayazungumzia ni mambo ambayo yanagusiwa, ni mambo ambayo yanazungumziwa kila uchao. Every day you find us discussing these issues. Remember I told you about Kiambu politics, that Kiambu is also going to play a major role in this country because of its population, because of its proximity to Nairobi, because of the way it neighbors Murang'a. So it's likely to have an influence on Murang'a people. It's also likely to have an influence on Nyandarua, because on the other side it borders Nyandarua. And that is why you see Kimani Ichung'wah akiwa pale, na vile vile unaona Moses Kuria wako pale. They are strikers. They have been asked to defend the votes in this county. Because if William Samoei Ruto loses Kiambu only, that is it. And Kiambu is likely to influence the voting pattern of this country. And also remember, they are also fearing that because Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta comes from Kiambu, he is likely to have a lot of influence. He is likely to have a lot of influence as far as things are concerned. And that is why when Maina Jenga went to Ruiru, you know, Ruiru is in Kiambu. That is why uliona vile ambavyo watu walianza kulalamika kutokana na vile watu wajitokeza kwa wingi. What can we do to save our country? Because where we are heading is wrong direction. If you ask me, I've always proposed that, unajua hapo zamani wakati mama zetu walikuwa wanapika chakula kwa nyugu, mom only needed to take just some few grains and anachukua some beans and maize, anaangalia kama imeiva, anachukua tu mara moja, hachukui mara mbili. If it doesn't feel that it is not well cooked, inatolewa au unaongeza moto. But this one, hii nyugu imeshindwa kupika. So what parliament should do is to impeach the president. But can they do it? I think the most important thing is for parliament to initiate a motion of impeaching William Samoei Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua and even the speaker. Because when these guys are out of the office, then it means we can only go to another election. Because it will not change this country much if William Samoei Ruto is impeached, because Gachagua will take over. And even if you impeach Gachagua, the Speaker of the National Assembly will take over. So unless those three leaders are impeached, Like, yeah, because if you ask me, that one should happen like yesterday. Kwa sababu I believe it is important that one happen. Janet sees majirani walimsoma wakajitoa mapema sana. Juzi alikula na yeah, ilikuwa hasara kubwa kwake because you know they were let down by the way, which is good in my view, because you cannot tell me a country that is at 60 unaita watu hata majirani wanakataa kuja. And the problem is, if you don't know, you know, William Samoei Ruto came yesterday, became the president yesterday, amekuja and now sasa he has tried now at yeye anaonyesha jia. He's the one who is going to teach them about climate change. He's the one who is going to teach them about Pan-Africanism. He's the one who is going to teach them about the de-dollarization of the economy. You see, that's the problem that we have. And you see, I've always opined that William Samoei Ruto is a populist president. He can do anything just for popularity. Hakuna kitu anataka, ni makofi tu, mpigie makofi. And he said it that wanasiasa hakuna kitu kingine wanataka, makofi tu na kushagiliwa. Kisha shagiliwa anafurahi. So William Samoei Ruto, the fact that anategwa na viongozi wa Afrika ni kutokana na sasa ule mwelekeo wake, ule msimamo wake, and his modus operandi, his way of doing things is very abrasive and look like he belittles even the neighbors. And that is why you see even that vice president of Uganda, sorry for that, of Tanzania, also the president of Zanzibar, who was sent by Suluhu Hassan, when he was talking, he said that the Madam President was busy solving the problems of El Nino, France, caused by El Nino. What does that tell you? It was ridiculous if you ask me. It was somehow sarcastic, because when you look at William Samoei Ruto, we had lost so many people through El Nino, but the president was busy. But if you ask me, hata hiyo mikutano, hizi sherehe za jamhuri, they don't mean anything to me. If I asked what should happen, is that anafaa akae kwa State House, akae tu pale, and then afanye nini? Asome watu hotuba. Janice the Singh, Gachie Skyman ni wakagereria githeri kabisa. Githeri lazima wageshi, kwa sababu najua that was the staple food of most Bantu communities. So if githeri is not ready, if it is not kama kivi, sina inatolewa tu inawekwa ingine, that is what we are saying here, that Kenyans need to know their rights. Kenyans need to know wakati au ni wapi wanafinyiliwa, kwa sababu hatuwezi kuwa tunafinyiliwa kila wakati. Hakuna kitu tunafanya, tunafinyiliwa, tuko tu pale, and we are not doing anything. Ladies and gentlemen, when you look at our country, you feel like nothing is going in the right direction. Because when you look at Kenya at 60, Kenya at 60, we are not supposed to be where we are. And I am afraid that William Samoei Ruto may not be able to achieve even 10% of what Kibaki achieved. When it comes to the road infrastructure, he may not even achieve 20% of what Uhuru achieved. But he's going to achieve a lot of what was achieved by Moi. Makosa ni Uhuru, kwani ilikuwa zile generator zifanye miaka gapi? Na ikiwa ni miradi za Uhuru, wanasema ni zao, tena wanaenda kufugua. Yeah, we have seen them opening Uhuru Muigai's projects because they don't have any projects. They don't have any projects, by the way. Hakuna kitu wanafanya. Hakuna. Kazi ni kukopa. Na wanakopa hizi pesa ndio wajue namna ya kuzitumia. Because you cannot tell me, like now, India gave us, I understand, is $33 billion, and hizo pesa zinatumika kufanya nini? We don't even know zinatumika kufanya nini. And when you look at these people, you realize kile ambacho wanajua vizuri sana ni kujinunulia na kujiribikizia mali kila wakati, na baadaye ukiwauliza what they are doing, they have nothing to show. Ladies and gentlemen, because of time, allow me to end this show here, and we shall continue having live show as usual. I'm very, very much humbled by the way you have interacted. Continue watching this video. We are going to upload it, and you can even watch our ads. No jokes, Ishongwa ametumwa kuiba wimbo wa Kalonzo. Ni kweli. Kwa sababu ukiangalia Ishongwa pale, Ishongwa has an assignment. Is a man on an assignment. Assignment to ensure that Kikuyus do not rally behind Kalonzo. That's the assignment that he has there. Lakini kusema ukweli, on the ground, you know, I live around Kikuyu. Around Kikuyu, I know. Kikuyu, Wagigi, Karura, Dedero, Banana, or Githogoro, all the way. These are people who are no longer with William Samoei Ruto. These are people who are no longer in Azimio. Sorry for that. They have deserted the UDA. And I keep on reminding you that UDA should pray that we don't have a by-election in Mount Kenya, because William Samoei Ruto will be badly embarrassed. But I know that by-election, if at all it will come, itapiganiwa sijui kama nini. Itakuwa ile vita vya maneno na siasa vile ambavyo hujaiona, just to ensure that they carry the day. But on the ground, we know vitu ni different kabisa. Ask Kadhani wa Mushoba, she will tell you. And that's why you see what you are seeing. And let's end here. Till next time. Bye-bye. Have a good night. Have a good morning for those who are watching us from America and other places where it is in the morning. Otherwise, I'm very, very humbled. Bye-bye.